opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts, guests, and contributors, and do not reflect the official views of Real TV, its management, or affiliates. Content is provided for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi, welcome to Real TV. Naka is back, your host is back. And sorry, I want to apologize first and foremost for the late start, but we're heading straight into the news. Approximately 5,000 maxi taxi operators across Trinidad and Tobago have begun a planned 3-day strike to protest unresolved issues affecting the industry. The action is expected to significantly disrupt public transportation, forcing thousands of commuters to rely on alternative services such as PTSC, buses, taxis, and PH cars. The strike commenced with a motorcade from Tarouba to Port of Spain and is expected to impact productivity, school attendance, and business operations nationwide. Maxi taxis serve 14 transport zones with about 3,500 operating daily along major routes, including the East-West Corridor and Chaguanas-San Fernando route. Association of Maxi Taxi Trinidad and Tobago Secretary Vikash Kisun Das said operators were left with no choice after years of unresolved concerns and months of unsuccessful discussions with transport authorities. He stressed that the boycott is not intended to punish the commuters, but to draw attention to long-standing challenges facing the sector. Many commuters expressed concern about the disruption, particularly students and workers who depend on maxi taxis as a primary mode of transportation. While some support the operators' demand, others believe a 3-day shutdown will place an unnecessary burden on the public and negatively affect the economy. The association is calling for improvements, including higher highway speed limits of maxi taxis, stronger action against crime and illegal PH taxis, payment of outstanding monies owed to operators, upgrade transport hubs, a system of NIS contributors, and a fulfillment of commitments previously made by the government officials. In more news, 6 people were killed in a series of violent incidents across southern Trinidad overnight, leaving several communities in shock. The victims include 5 men who were shot and 1 person who was stabbed to death in attacks that occurred within a 12-hour period. Police reported a triple murder in St. Madeleine and a double murder in Penal among the incidents. The St. Madeleine 3 men were fatally shot when gunmen opened fire on a property along 6th Street. An 18-year-old resident told investigators he was walking his dog at 1:23 a.m. when he heard approximately 15 gunshots. The victims were identified as Clary Kingfee, Martin Harry Prasad, 43, and a man known as Joe. Earlier on Sunday night, 2 men were killed and another injured in a shooting near First Citizens Bank in SSRN Road in Penal, about a kilometer away from the Penal police station. Police responded to reports of gunfire and found the victims on the scene. Police investigations into the scene of the incidents are ongoing. Their identities were not yet realized by the police. And in Faisabad, a man was stabbed to death in a domestic-related incident on Sunday night. The deceased were identified as Michael Joseph of John Jules Street in Faisabad. The killings pushed the overnight death toll to 6 and marked another violent period of communities in the South. Police said they are pursuing several leads and are appealing to members of the public with information to come forward. Homicide detectives of Region 3 are continuing investigations. In further news, a security guard and baggage handler have been cleared of charges related to an alleged plot of smuggling 63 kilograms of cocaine through the A&R Robinson International Airport in Tobago. And there's Philip, 36 of Scarborough, and Kylan Batiste, 34, were discharged by the court of prosecutors failed to submit by witnesses statements within an extended deadline. The case had been before the court for more than 6 years. Philip's attorney, Sean Morris of Public Defender's Department, argued that there were no satisfactory explanation for the delay. High Court Master Kimatria Gray agreed that and dismissed the case against both men. The charges stemmed from a July 2019 incident in which cocaine was discovered inside 2 suitcases destined for the Caribbean Airlines flight in New York's JFK Kennedy's Airport. International, the bags fitted with faked baggage tags were flagged and suspicious by airports authority security officer during a routine patrol. Following a month-long investigation by Special Investigations Unit, Phillips, a security guard, and Batiste, a Swissport ramp attendant, were charged in connection with the drug seizure. Both had remained on bail while awaiting outcome of the case. And internationally, court has ruled that UK does not have to pay Rwanda compensation following the cancellation of controversial asylum agreement introduced by previous conservative government. Rwanda has sought more than £100 million, arguing that the UK breached the terms of deal after the Labour government, led by Starmer, scrapped the policy shortly after taking office. The agreement was designed to relocate asylum seekers who entered the UK illegally to Rwanda. The UK's legal team argued that the change in government made the cancellation responsible and that no additional payments were owed. The tribunal agreed, rejecting Rwanda's claim. While Rwanda accepted the ruling and said the matter was concluded, it noted that a dissenting opinion from the arbitrator suggested that legal issues were complex and open to different interpretations. And that's all for your topical news. I will want to humbly apologize again for our late start from Real TV production and from me, Nak, as a host. But when we come back, Bridging the Gap. Stay tuned.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us.
Ladies and gentlemen, young people, senior citizens, it is my pleasure and privilege to invite you to look at the program Inspired on Real TV at 2 p.m. every Wednesday afternoon. Inspired is designed to lift your spirits, to help you overcome depression and failure so you could be an outstanding, extraordinary success. We have special experts every Wednesday who will inspire you to do better, to be your best self. So may God bless you. And remember, every Wednesday at 2 p.m., please look out for the program Inspired.
Hello everyone, I'm Kwesi Park. I invite you to join me right here on Real TV for the program Unfiltered Youth. This series will engage a panel of young persons from a very diverse cross-section of our society, talking or discussing the real issues affecting them in their daily lives. So join me right here on Real TV on Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. with repeats on Sundays and Wednesdays.
Hi, I'm Zalisa Budu Singh Rupani, and I'm inviting you to join me for Conversations with Zalisa right here on Real TV. It's not just another talk show, it's a space for real stories, real insight, and real impact. We cover it all: health, law, parenting, relationships, drug and substance abuse, mental health, social issues, and so much more, with expert guests who help bring clarity to life's most important questions. So whether you're looking to be informed, empowered, or simply inspired, this show is for you. Weekdays at 10 a.m. with repeats on Real TV. You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us.
Ladies and gentlemen, young people, senior citizens, it is my pleasure and privilege to invite you to look at the program Inspired on Real TV at 2 p.m. every Wednesday afternoon. Inspired is designed to lift your spirits, to help you overcome depression and failure so you could be an outstanding, extraordinary success. We have special experts every Wednesday who will inspire you to do better, to be your best self. So may God bless you. And remember, every Wednesday at 2 p.m., please look out for the program Inspire.
Hello everyone, I'm Kwesi Park. I invite you to join me right here on Real TV for the program Unfiltered Youth. This series will engage a panel of young persons from a very diverse cross-section of our society, talking or discussing the real issues affecting them in their daily lives. So join me right here on Real TV on Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. with repeats on Sundays and Wednesdays.
Hi, I'm Zalisa Budu Singh Rupani, and I'm inviting you to join me for Conversations with Zalisa right here on Real TV. It's not just another talk show, it's a space for real stories, real insight, and real impact. We cover it all: health, law, parenting, relationships, drug and substance abuse, mental health, social issues, and so much more, with expert guests who help bring clarity to life's most important questions. So whether you're looking to be informed, empowered, or simply inspired, this show is for you. Weekdays at 10 a.m. with repeats on Real TV.
So welcome back to Real TV. Trinidad and Tobago NACA is back. Yes, I took a hiatus. I took some time off, and I want to be real with you guys, because Bridging the Gap is all about us seeking how can we as a nation, we as a people, we as an individual deal with daily issues in society. And first and foremost, I would like to thank all listeners that are on and viewing. I appreciate you guys daily. I appreciate my family that looks on to me and those that are very dear to my heart. I thank you guys so much. I have to remain humble because if I was not doing a good show, I would not have been back. Let's be real, right? As the TV says, real TV. And the reason I had to take a hiatus as well, and you know, going through the process of a lot of things, and then losing one of my closest friends, a fourth close friend to me in the span of 4 years. You know, may her soul rest in peace, Ayodele James. I will always miss her. I have been there with her through thick and thin in her cancer process, and that's something that she said, you know, leave a light when I'm gone, you know, make sure that people are knowledgeable. And pancreatic cancer is a very serious thing. And seeing my friend going through that situation, I had to come to the realization that I had to let her go. It was not easy, but going through the process, I had to let her go. So sometimes, you know, not you alone, we go through our personal issues, and we just have to deal with our personal issues. And, you know, at that time, I think I needed to step back and reflect on how I'm going to deal with daily life, right? So we are moving forward. I want to tell you all, I want to give thanks to the Mexican Embassy, because for those that don't know, I am from the Pineapple Foundation, and we deal with young girls in different areas in society, teaching them how to, it doesn't matter if you could be troubled or not troubled, but the Pineapple Foundation, we facilitate, which is Project Bloom. We have something called Project Bloom at this point in time, and we are coming to a close next month for graduation. And we groom them into the world of reality. So we teach them how to be, we teach them etiquette, we teach them self-reflection, how to love yourself. We taught them a lot of things. And at the same time, we have fun. We went to hikes, you know, we fellowship. And these beautiful 14 girls that we had, the Mexican Embassy facilitated us yesterday, I should say. And we did a mock interview where we prepare them, even though they might have a little 2 years again, but we still prepare them. And we brought professionals in. We had pilots, we had attorneys, we had inspector. We had so many people. Chefs came in to do, and that's something I would do within the week, and I will showcase it to you guys, where we had these young girls doing mock interviews, let them dress in work attire, proper work attire, and they had to bring the resume, like how you do a normal interview, and they had to go through the process, and they were drilled, they were asked questions. Some of them, the one thing I have to say, the facilitators, they dealt with it like it's a real interview, and I appreciate all the facilitators, and hats off to the Embassy of Mexico and the Pineapple Foundation. It was hard. It was overwhelming. And the Mexican Embassy, they opened their doors. They identify everybody by name. It was just really nice to know that we don't only have to go to anything by administration, our administration in Trinidad and Tobago, but we can go beyond internationally right here in Trinidad and Tobago, and I appreciate that, and I'm humbled by it. So, moving along, you know when I put this hand, you know it's back at that. So you know we had some problems today. We all encountered the problems today. We all went through it. Some who had vehicles that were privileged, but more so the commuters. And I have pros and cons. I don't really have pros and cons. I understand both sides. And I understand why. Because at the end of the day, I am not going to touch politically but I'm going to deal with it democratically. Because we are a country supposed to be a democratic country. A country of democracy. And what is that this morning, well, I heard about it over the weekend. I was I was not with phone for a week, so I didn't know what was going on social media for a while, for about 5 days. And when I heard about the protest that is happening today and the next 2 days, I needed to research a bit more because I did not want to push in my mouth where my mouth not supposed to be. And I am not touching, because this is a very ticklish situation, and I want you to understand this. Everything we do now in society, it is very ticklish. And we have to be careful of the things that we say and the things that we do. I being frank comment with you. We have to be careful of the things that we say and the things that we do. So there was a protest today that started this morning, and a lot of commuters were stranded. Even some of in our building here were stranded and couldn't come to work. I and all was in problems. That's why we started late, and that's why I had to apologize. But the thing is, we have to understand this. And before I go into it, I want you to understand this. As a democratic nation, we are all entitled, as people of Trinidad and Tobago, to speak how we feel. Well, so we should think that we are free to speak how we feel, but respectfully. And within the guidelines of the law, that is how we're supposed to move, right? Well and fine. I am not coming down on no administration. I'm not coming down on nobody. I am speaking on behalf of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Communities nationwide, from Talparo to Port of Spain, to Moruga, to Port of Spain. I speak on behalf of the people, but with caution. And I'm making that disclaimer. So they said they had a nationwide maxi taxi protest that began, which is today, June the 1st, and approximately, and I read it before, 5,000 operators withdrew their services for 3 days over long-standing grievances with the government. The action has caused major disruptions to public transportation, particularly along the East-West Corridor and South Trinidad routes. Key issues raised by operators, the Association of Maxi Taxis Trinidad and Tobago, says operators have been frustrated by years of unresolved concerns, including increasing the highway speed limit for maxi taxis from 65 kilometers to 80 kilometers. Rising crime affecting drivers and passengers, mingi all around. Illegal PH taxi operations. Outstanding payments owed for transporting school children. I ain't get all wrong for that either. Poor conditions at transport hubs and terminals. I ain't get all wrong for that either. Access to a system for NIS contributions. Delays in implementing promises made by meetings with transport officials. Impact on commuters. The strikes left major transport hubs, including Citygate in Port of Spain, with very few maxi taxis operating, long lines formed for PTSC buses, and commuters reported delays while seeking alternative transportation, traffic into Port of Spain was also heavily congested. Let me stick a pen. The things that are affecting these maxi taxi drivers, I ain't get all that wrong. And the reason why I'm saying this, I'm not blaming the present administration, but I'm blaming former administration too. Fear is fear. Because the conditions that maxi taxi drivers work under are deplorable. And even if you go into the bus terminus or the maxi taxi, whatever you call it, the terminus or the terminal, it is deplorable. Highly deplorable. In this day and age of transformation, there should be, and let us be realistic, because I just scorn Citygate. Bad. I'd rather spend money to take a taxi than go in Citygate. Because just walking up the stairs to go by the maxi taxi, not even the signage is properly well. Not even the signage, you can't even see where you're going. It is bad conditions. And you have to understand that within time, and now it has gotten worse in this present day. Because now things have raised drastically, and we have to understand the facts of our livelihood, because some of these maxi taxi drivers are not owners of their own vehicle. They are driving for somebody. So when they are working under these deplorable conditions, and they have to pay the owner their fair daily share, and then have to work extra hard to make money to provide for their homes. We have to understand the predicament Trinidad and Tobago. I do not want to go down a road, and I'm not going there. But we are in a state of turmoil. The country is bleeding, the country is crying, the country is in a mess. I don't know who can fix it. The only thing we can do is ask the Papa God to help fix our situation. I saw how many commuters, yes, I agree with you standing firm with what you believe in, because that's your democratic right as a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, as a license holder of a maxi taxi license, to stand your ground. I am not saying no. Because if I say, sit down here and say, well, you know me, I don't mean nothing to say. I mean say nothing. I would be lying to Trinidad and Tobago. I'll be lying to myself. But sometimes, in order for voices to be heard, Peter had to pay for Paul, and Paul has had to pay for all. That's how reality works. We have to play fair game. So I continue. Concerns from businesses and schools. Businesses groups warn that the shutdown could affect productivity and economic activity nationwide, education stakeholders, including the Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association and the National Parent-Teacher Association, expressed concern that students sitting CSEC and CAPE examinations could face transportation challenges. Pause for a course. Can we pause for a course? I understand the concerns for CSEC students that are sitting exams, those that are sitting CAPE. At this point in time, my heart really goes out to all the students. Because the only way of commute for some of you guys, some of you always have to take a maxi to go and meet the bus. And my heart really goes out to you all. It's really, really sad. But at the same time, if something is transpiring and it is going on for so long, people have to understand the frustrations of the human body. It is so much a human body could take. And when the human body can't take no more and it stands firm on what they believe in, it takes a ripple effect. What should have been in place was, and this is my opinion, if the Ministry of Education knew that there was going to be a shutdown, because I heard a lot of people even went to some places to purchase bus tickets, and the places were closed. The places that normally open at that point in time was closed. I know they are part of the Maxi Taxi Association, me know people business, but I just say. But we have to understand that if people have reached a point of being fed up, frustrated, discombobulated, feeling misused and abused, they are entitled to express themselves in a diplomatic manner, respectful manner, but you can activate your rights. That is what I am saying. Because we're dealing with social issues and current affairs. And we can't be biased. Because I'm telling you, I will pong the two ends, you know. When the two ends need to get pong, they will get pong. With no names called. Because at the same time, we have to be very careful in this present time in how we meet and treat with a situation. So the latest development, the protest began with a motorcade and is expected to continue through Wednesday unless progress is made in discussions with authorities. The AMTTT officials say operators felt they had exhausted all other avenues. Other months of talks failed to produce results. And I saw a video. I wanted to show that video. I will see if I can get it. Where I saw the Chaguanas maxi taxis. They went into the Port of Spain bus terminus and they drove past through the bus terminus without picking up anybody, and they left showing that they are in solidarity for their rights. There are some that are still on the road, and I said there are mouths that still need to be fed because some of them do not own their own maxi, or some of them know that they have rent to pay, a mortgage to pay, they have babies to feed, they have milk to buy, they have groceries to put in the fridge. But I saw a video where someone posted, and I will see if I can get that video where production can play that video. A guy was saying, if you do not stand for something, you ain't standing, you have to stand for something, because what you're leaving for your son and your children to look or emulate after. And he's still seeing some maxi taxis outside working, but you don't know what is their financial predicament. You do not know what is their financial predicament. And that is what I want you all to understand. We as a nation, before we go to a break, we as a nation, yes, I always say you have your democratic right to protest or to stand silently somewhere with a placard, because that is your democratic right. And do not let nobody take your democratic right away from you. And this is by constitutional law. I ain't telling you to go outside and make a mass. But everybody have a right. You can have a silent protest, you can have a sick out, you can have a whatever. But you have a democratic right, because if you are feeling that you are not being treated in a certain way, or you are mistreated, or you are treated like an ingrate, or you feel that your rights are being implicated as a nation, or as a people, as a society, or in a home, you have your democratic rights. Right? So we're going for a break, and when we come back, more Bridging the Gap. Stay tuned.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us. In a world full of noise, choose clarity. The Real News digital publication is your choice for important news coverage. From influential figures shaping our nation to a powerful week in review that keeps you informed. The weekly edition is available for download on all of our social media platforms. Smart, sharp, essential. Real News digital publication. Stay informed, stay educated, stay empowered.
Are you looking for the right space for your business? Fred's Plaza has the space you need. We offer professional rental spaces designed for growing businesses. Conveniently located in San Juan on the Eastern Main Road, opposite the PTSC terminal and between Royal Castle and Mario's. Easy access, high visibility. For inquiries, call or WhatsApp 868-384-7142 today, or visit Level 3 Fred's Plaza for details.
The Ambassador's Daughter, weekdays at 11 a.m., only on Real TV.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us. In a world full of noise, choose clarity. The Real News digital publication is your choice for important news coverage. From influential figures shaping our nation to a powerful week in review that keeps you informed. The weekly edition is available for download on all of our social media platforms. Smart, sharp, essential. Real News digital publication. Stay informed, stay educated, stay empowered.
Are you looking for the right space for your business? Fred's Plaza has the space you need. We offer professional rental spaces designed for growing businesses. Conveniently located in San Juan on the Eastern Main Road, opposite the PTSC terminal and between Royal Castle and Mario's. Easy access, high visibility. For inquiries, call or WhatsApp 868-384-7142 today, or visit Level 3 Fred's Plaza for details.
The Ambassador's Daughter, weekdays at 11 a.m., only on Real TV.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us. In a world full of noise, choose clarity. The Real News digital publication is your choice for important news coverage. From influential figures shaping our nation to a powerful week in review that keeps you informed. The weekly edition is available for download on all of our social media platforms. Smart, sharp, essential. Real News digital publication. Stay informed, stay educated, stay empowered.
Are you looking for the right space for your business? Fred's Plaza has the space you need. We offer professional rental spaces designed for growing businesses. Conveniently located in San Juan on the Eastern Main Road, opposite the PTSC terminal and between Royal Castle and Mario's. Easy access, high visibility. For inquiries, call or WhatsApp 868-384-7142 today, or visit Level 3 Fred's Plaza for details.
The Ambassador's Daughter, weekdays at 11 a.m., only on Real TV.
But when it comes to the strike thing, let me be real, dog. If all they know we stand up for something, dog. No, they have to be real out of order to come out and walk by. All they know, we don't stand up for nothing. We don't come together for nothing. But this is a good reason. The reason we coming together is a good reason. You might want to pass down your pass to your son by. You can't do that. You might be going on the road very fast by. You might be going 67 by. And I 2,000 by, brother, by. By all you going mad, all you have to be going mad, by. If all you come out and walk up, and watching all you on a different level, though. Big man thing, though. And watching all you on a different level, though. I'm telling all you that. Watch that. Know what you're doing, eh? know what you're doing. It's a love, you know. But with that one there, nah.
So I wanted to end off that part of the topic with that video. And you can hear the frustration in his voice. And you could hear that he's craving for the unity in his voice. I am not a maxi taxi driver, so I personally do not know the extent of frustration that people feel. But I know for a fact the extent of frustration Trinidad and Tobago feels today. And I'm talking across the board generally. And this takes us to another topic. And my heart bleeds because I have 8 nieces and nephews. And out of all the 8 nieces and nephews, I wipe all of them, boom, boom. All. The eldest one today, she could be about 29 years old, who I love very dearly. I love all my nieces and nephews dearly, hold them to my heart. And what hurts me is that when scenarios happen like this, and I will be very open. I have an autistic nephew, and to me, when I hear situations happen, the first person comes to my mind is him. But one thing, he good for himself, eh? He bright. He good for himself. He's very intelligent. And I thank his parents for raising him that way, and my family, and all of us by extension, for helping to groom him in that avenue. Hats off to my family. But at the same time, it scares me a lot when I hear stories about children. It is a very frightening situation where it is even frightening to bring a child into the world, especially in these times where we have the Gen Zs. Is it Gen Z's production? Okay, because I don't know the... And what am I, a millennial? What? Millennial? Yeah, I don't old. They call, imagine they call me millennials. I'm old cow. So these Gen Zs, in the lifespan of the Gen Zs, and I had this discussion with somebody that's very close to me, dear to my heart. And we always talk about the Gen Zs and the millennials and the this and the that, you know? So, when we were having that discussion, and I heard stories, and we were sharing stories at that point in time, it really broke my heart to see that young children are being abused, killed, maliciously, raped by older old men. And most people that get raped are people that they know. 90% of the time. Are people that you know. Unless they get robbed. It are some of them sick ones. But most rape that happens domestically happens to somebody that, you know, it could be a neighbor, it could be your uncle, it could be a sister, it could be a brother. Most of the time it's people that you know. And then the next thing too, I will make the statement. If you have a child from a previous relationship, do not bring no any kind of warangum in your place to be your partner and you have a child there. I have many friends, male friends, that took their child from the mother's home trying to protect, because they don't know who the mother is going to involve themselves with. That can cause child abuse, child rape. And I always tell people, I'm very open about it, I am a victim of it. I have said it many times. I have spoke about it. I'm open to talk about it. I tell you, if you're not real, you can't be on real TV. I am very open about it. And I was able, it took years for me to overcome that situation where I'm able to speak about it. And I'm able to share that. That's why, a lot of young people, when you have organizations and NGOs, and you go to young people, let's have some people like to chuck the Bible and chuck some people and chuck religion and feel that they're so high and mighty and they're so superior. Young people not going to open to none of that. I'm telling you, that's a fact. Once they know that you experience what they went through or what they are going through, you will see how open they will get. Sometimes you have to meet them on their level just to bring them back on the level that they're supposed to be on. I am very open about my life. My life is an open book. I tell everybody that. Nobody could ever say, Naka went through this and Naka, I would tell you before you could even tell me. You want to find out, ask me. But don't ask me who I'm with, where I living, and who's my parents, who's my child, my children. Don't ask me that. That's not your business. But anything else, ask me about my life. My life is an open book. But we're going back to the topic. So many children in 2026 and before time lost their life in domestic violence and shootings. I can remember in my young days, back in the early 2000s, I was now in the secondary school age, where men used to respect women and children. You're going to shoot a man and it's have a man, granny in the house, mommy in the house, and a child in the house. They used to tell them run outside. Gone are the days of that. Now, it's who gets it, feels it. This is the Trinidad and Tobago we are living in at this present time. And then women now, they reach a point of desperation. Because if you can't get a man, you're picking up the quickest next thing and bringing them into your home with your pickney or your whoever, 2, 3 children or 5 children. Like what happened in Tobago? Up to now, they have not found that child's body as yet. Angelo. That sweet baby boy. His body has not been found up to today. But we just have a suspect that has been arrested, charged, innocent until proven guilty, and nobody to get some sort of closure. But you bring a man into the home of your toddler. Woman, you have to learn that when you have children, you have to learn to respect your space. Not only for you, but for your innocent child, your innocent baby. But like something that's be scratching all you. In a place me want to call. That you're so desperate and destitute. That you carry your innocent baby into a home of a man you only know a few months. You ain't see your head shaking. Your head ain't shaking and your head vibrating. You pass the stage as shaking. But we're going for a break, and when we come back, we have more to talk about. Stay tuned.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us.
Let's get straight to the point. I am Dale Edwards, Dale the Voice, and we're going to get straight to the point right here on Real TV. Join me Monday to Friday, 4 to 6 p.m. when we talk the hard truth. We're not beating around the bush. We're getting straight to the point, dealing with real issues, social, politics, and much more. Monday to Friday, the only place to be is right here on Real TV.
I am Walter Stewart, President of the Trinidad and Tobago National Council of Parent-Teacher Associations Incorporated. Join us every Thursday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Real TV, where we look at NPTA Speaks, National Parent-Teacher Association Speaks, on topical and relevant issues pertaining to parents, teachers, education, and students of Trinidad and Tobago. This, of course, encapsulates local, regional, and international audiences every Thursday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Real TV, NPTA Speaks.
When security matters most, choose Catch Security Services Limited. We are proudly approved by the Ministry of Homeland Security. We protect your home, business, community, and much more. Our services include professional baton and armed officers, specialized K-9 units, mobile patrols, secure cash pickups, secure transport, and pepper spray applications and supply coming soon. Don't wait. Secure your assets now. Contact Catch Security today. Call 622-6601, email info@cssl-tt.com, or visit our office at 30-32 Saddle Road, Maraval.
Women, you have to be, and I will, continue. Welcome back. We're talking about women being very careful. Even men. There are men that have women, there are men that have their children full-time. And I told you, I know few of them have their children full-time. So it goes vice versa. You have to be careful of the person you lie down with. The person you sleep with. Because at the end of the day, it's not about you feeling fulfilled and satisfied, but it is about the first and number one priority is your child. Because anybody who had to come in my space and my child, you can't come in my space just so I will date you for a year and you will never see my child. Until I know you are fit to be in my child's space, because I have to real vet you. And it brings me back to a story. And my mom and I was having this discussion about it. I think it was last week or week before. I could stand corrected. And it was on May 15th, 2026. Amy Anna Montodo was tortured and beaten to death at her family's home in Marabella. If anybody remember, and the mother had the child here, she's spinning on her fan, if anybody remember. And autopsy revealed she suffered intensive injuries, including a ruptured heart, fractured ribs, bleeding organs, and cigarette burns. The accused was her stepfather. Marlon King was charged with the murder. If you are referring to, right, so they say the mother, Amy Rihanna, oh, there's a different story, sorry. I was macking a little too much. So anybody remember that young child? She was 4 years old. And when they found out, the mother used to take the hair, they used to put the hair on the fan and actually spinning from her hair, if anybody remember. And if anybody remember, I think it was the 8-year-old or 12-year-old they found in the shallow grave. Days they're looking for the child. Come in the house looking for the child. And this happened years ago. But this child in particular always stayed in my memory because the tying up the hair in the ceiling fan and actually swinging, that never left my mind. You have to be careful of the people you bring into your home to introduce to your children. It's a serious thing, you know. Because the man will wine and dine you. Have you feeling like perfume and roses and don't like you pick me? Or have some kind of warped thoughts of your children or evil mind because of jealousy and insecurities. One other person. So we're going in. 2-year-old Akini Kafi was killed in shooting in Belmont on May 2026. He died alongside 2 adults in daylight attack that sparked national outrage. Akini's story is very, very dear to my heart. Because I'm from the Belmont community. His story is very, very dear to me. Sweet little boy. His birthday went just last month. Last month his birthday went. He would have been 2 years old this year. Life cut short because of gun violence. No more respect to child and women in society. His life is cut short. We go on to 8-year-old Janaya Armstrong, who was among 3 people killed in a drive-by shooting him over on April 2026. Beautiful little girl, pretty little girl. The incident drew attention to the growing numbers of children affected by gun violence. I don't know, and I wanted to keep that picture up. I wanted to sway production because we're going down the line from Akini to Janaya at this point. I do not know if it's a season when these kind of madnesses happen, because if you realize and now you retrospect and you put things into perspective, you will realize there's a season where there's a lot of domestic violence, deaths. There's a lot of suicides, deaths. There's a lot of child molestation, deaths. There's a lot of gun violence with children and women, deaths. All you realize it is be a season where at a certain time, between 2 to 3 months, there's a different course where you will see home invasion murders going on for 2 months. Then you go have suicides going on for 2 months. Then you go have children, domestic violence going on for 2 months. Then you go have gun violence between children and women going on for 2 months. You don't realize that this is a cycle. And the cycle is, we are under a spiritual warfare in this country today. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know who sent it. I don't know who doing it. But I am telling you, Trinidad and Tobago, we're sending it back to sender. We're sending it back to sender. Whatever you are doing and trying to accomplish in this nation to bleed the hearts of Trinidad and Tobago, I, Naka, the host of Bridging the Gap, telling you, we're sending it back to sender. And whatever come back to you, woe be on your soul. And this is not my doing, it's the doing of the Abba Father, the Creator, the man of above, of all the above. We're sending it back. Because it's high time we sit down behind as media personnel, as influencers, and some of them who's influencers, content creators, and bacchanal confusionists on social media. It is high time you have a platform. We have to stand ground. This is a spiritual warfare in Trinidad and Tobago today. This is not normal. This is out of the ordinary and it is in the spiritual realm. And we're sending it back to sender. This is what we have to start doing. If we cannot protest or we cannot do or we're not getting the hearing from the authorities or we're not seeing anything that's happening, nothing activating, we have to start to bruise our knees as a nation. If you just light your candle, drink your clean water, put your flowers in the water, however you do it, pray to Mother Lakshmi, Allah. If you're Sudu Baptist, whatever, you're praying to Jesus, whoever it may be. Chemists. If it's in Egyptology, Ethiopian religion, pray, kneel down and pray. And let them know we're sending it back to sender. Because Trinidad is too small and too blessed to have this kind of turmoil in our country today. It is very disheartening. It is very displeasing. It is very distasteful as a nation. And we want to call ourselves the apple of the Caribbean. But how you can call yourself the apple of the Caribbean when we not even the apple for your own self? We need my Pomerock. But we're going for a break, and when we come back, we are more, because I'm telling you, I'm jamming we today. No, today is proper jamming. We'll be right back.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us. I am Zalisa Budusing Rupani, inviting you to join me for the rebirth of Apne Sitare, Our Stars, a vibrant and spectacular show celebrating the incredible local talents of the sons and daughters of Trinidad and Tobago. Experience the beauty of our culture through singing, dancing, and musical performances as we keep the arts alive and shining bright. Tune in right here on Real TV every Sunday from 1 p.m. for Apne Sitare, Our Stars. See you there.
Macon Construction Company Limited. Save big whilst building stronger. We build with our Macon innovative building systems, which provides high wind speed, earthquake, sea blast and fire resistance. Is thermally and acoustically insulated. Provides improved construction timelines and cost savings. We provide construction services from design to finish and everything in between. Macon Construction Company Limited. Building green today with tomorrow's technology. Contact or visit us today.
In a world full of noise, choose clarity. The Real News digital publication is your choice for important news coverage. From influential figures shaping our nation to a powerful week in review that keeps you informed. The weekly edition is available for download on all of our social media platforms. Smart, sharp, essential, Real News digital publication. Stay informed, stay educated, stay empowered. You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us. I am Zalisa Budusing Rupani, inviting you to join me for the rebirth of Apne Sitare, Our Stars, a vibrant and spectacular show celebrating the incredible local talents of the sons and daughters of Trinidad and Tobago. Experience the beauty of our culture through singing, dancing, and musical performances as we keep the arts alive and shining bright. Tune in right here on Real TV every Sunday from 1 p.m. for Apne Sitare, Our Stars. See you there.
Macon Construction Company Limited. Save big whilst building stronger. We build with our Macon innovative building systems, which provides high wind speed, earthquake, sea blast and fire resistance. Is thermally and acoustically insulated. Provides improved construction timelines and cost savings. We provide construction services from design to finish and everything in between. Macon Construction Company Limited. Building green today with tomorrow's technology. Contact or visit us today.
In a world full of noise, choose clarity. The Real News digital publication is your choice for important news coverage. From influential figures shaping our nation to a powerful week in review that keeps you informed. The weekly edition is available for download on all of our social media platforms. Smart, sharp, essential, Real News digital publication. Stay informed, stay educated, stay empowered.
Welcome back to bridging the gap. Let me tell you something. Only don't get vexed with Naka, please. Don't get vexed with Naka. Because on my hiatus, I sat down and I watched from home. I watched some of them I cried for. Cried for. Because at the end of the day, this is not a normal matter. This is not normal. This is a serious situation Trinidad and Tobago going through. To see that over the years we have in the seasonal deaths. Look at, I want to give pay homage to Sadie. Angelica Sadie, who died in the freak accident in Tobago. Which should not have happened because of the carelessness of another person. Carelessness. All that we have to put into consideration. And I did not forget, I tell you, I just sit down and think about these children in my mind. Because the reason being, why week after week, we hearing some domestic violence freak accident. It is utter madness. And most of the time when these things happen with these young children, some of it have to blame all the parents. I have to blame all the parents. Because all you two like to rush into relationships. Or you not even, let me tell you something. I will tell you this, My parents, come back to me. And we will put back up the children one by one that we have. And I want Trinidad and Tobago to see these innocent faces that happen. And I don't have all that happen in 2026. I don't have all, my humble apologies, because we were so much in a rush today. And my heart goes out to those children that went through a lot of turmoil, those that did not get to see today, who would not know what tomorrow brings, who would not even see tomorrow, who would not even see next year. But my heart goes out to all you, really and truly. But parents, I would tell you this, and I always like to go back, and I always appreciate how my parents, even though my dad was very busy, my father was a real workaholic. My father used to real work. But one thing, if he see a mark on his skin and he don't know where it comes from, he's going to question it. And whoever gave that mark on that skin, they have to answer. That is how my father was, especially with his girl children. He don't play, and he was a workaholic. Always in work. My mother, she's the same way. Parents need to pay attention to their children. If you see your child with a mark on the skin, you know what parents is nowadays, young Gen Zs like to say? They must be fall along and bounce the foot. Fall along. I am a big old cow. I just call myself a big old cow. A big old woman. Well, I didn't want to say a big old woman. I'm a 30 still. I have some years again. But as an adult, if my mother see a black and blue mark on my skin, she's going to question me how I get it. She is going to question me. She's going to say, what's that on the back of your leg? What's that black and blue mark on the back of your leg? How you get that? I said, me don't know, I might be bouncing my foot and me can't remember. That is how parents are supposed to be. And I am a grown adult. My brother probably 50 or almost 50. And if she see a mark that she never see before, my brother is a big grown man, she's going to question him. And I'm sure my father will do the same. Where he get that mark from? Where she get that mark from? And we are adults, working people. That supposed to be in a child's life. So you can't tell me that a child get killed by a cuff or a hit, and you never see that cuff and a hit before. You could never tell me as a parent that a child died by probably blood force trauma, that a child never get hit before. And especially by a step parent. I will never forget the instance some years ago, a few years ago. I had an ex-significant other, and I had his children. I would tell you this as truth, facts. And let me tell you something, the boy child, he really liked to wild play. And he outside while playing with the children. And he went home I'm very happy that his mother and I had a great co-parenting relationship. Great co-parenting relationship. And he went home with a Mark. Mind you, I didn't watch him before, and that was my mistake. Mind you, after that, I checked them before they leave the house. Playing, he playing with other children that come over and they, in the yard, and they, boys will be boys. And he went home with a Mark that his mother is not acquainted with. And she questioned the Mark. And the first thing she asked the father, did he get hit? And I called and I told her, I said, you should know me. You know I ain't hitting nobody, children. If I ain't make you, me hitting you. That's why I feel my nephews and them used to run all over me like Captain Hook. Because I don't believe in beating people, children that don't belong to me. But at the same time, she was well in her right to act. And he did turn around and he said, Mommy, we was playing ninja or something, I can't remember. And he fell down and hit his foot on the bike was on the ground. I can't remember the scenario went. But she was well in her right as a parent to ask these questions. You in a house with a man because you so in love, or you in a house with a woman and you so in love, and you so tool big, that you have this person hitting your child. You don't know, children they are very fragile beings. One little lash could damage a child. I'd rather pinch you. You see a pinch? Children don't like pinch at all. You see a pinch, they don't like it. They rather get licks. Get them a pinch. If the child don't belong to you, get them a pinch. We're hitting the people children for. And then they're bringing in a set of men and women in your house that are pedophiles. That have a sickness and a weakness to young children. And all they're contented and cool. Because why? You're desperate for a partner. Me desperate for no partner because let me tell you something. Me and my child can roll together for the end of the earth by myself. Because if you can't respect my child, you can't respect me. Because your child is supposed to be your number one priority in life. And it goes back to the gun violence. Because once you become a parent, if you was living the lifestyle before, that's your choice and your prerogative. But from the time you get a child, your child is supposed to be your number one priority, and you have to have the knowledge in your mind and the sense to say, here what? You see, this crime will next time to go for my child, better come out. Lay low. But only like badness. And some only woman like gunman. You know this song production? She like badness, she like gunman. Yeah. Production is real teaching me the new songs and thing, you know, I doesn't know it. But there's teach me well. Yeah, you laugh. There's teach me the song. She like Badness, she like Gunman. They laugh at that. Because they know I don't know these songs. But I want to be up to par. When I bring it forward to people of Trinidad and Tobago, I want to bring it real. As real as possible. But we're going for a break again, and we're coming down to the last leg, and I'm coming to my closing. And my closing is a serious one for Trinidad and Tobago. We'll be right back.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us.
Hello, everyone. I am the Reverend Clifford Rawlins, minister of the Diego Martin United Church and a published author. I am inviting you to join me on Real TV for Honest to God, where we are honest with what Scripture is and says and addressing topical issues in Christianity in a postmodern context and post-colonial Caribbean landscape. Provocative, controversial, stimulating, and above all, openly honest. Every Tuesday at 2 to 3 p.m. right here on Real TV.
Honest to God, I'm coming clean. Honest to God.
Let's get straight to the point. I am Dale Edwards, Dale the Voice, and we're going to get straight to the point right here on Real TV. Join me Monday to Friday, 4 to 6 p.m. when we talk the hard truth. We're not beating around the bush. We're getting straight to the point, dealing with real issues, social, politics, and much more. Monday to Friday, the only place to be is right here on Real TV.
In a world full of noise, choose clarity. The Real News digital publication is your choice for important news coverage. From influential figures shaping our nation to a powerful week in review that keeps you informed. The weekly edition is available for download on all of our social media platforms. Smart, sharp, essential. Real News digital publication. Stay informed. Stay educated, stay empowered.
So we are back to the last leg of the show. I didn't know that we moved so fast. So I want to state as in closing, government agencies have repeatedly expressed concern about the impact of shooting, domestic violence, and gender-based violence on children and families, noting that these incidents leave lasting emotional and psychological scars on communities. And I want you all to understand this on this last leg. These innocent babies that has lost their lives under the hands of those that should not even be in their hands, or those with mishaps and irresponsible behavior, they are now statistics today. They are now no more on the land of the living with their beautiful smiles. And I wanted to keep showing these babies today. And there are so many others that happen in 2026. And I want you all to look at these sweet faces that God has blessed the earth of Trinidad and Tobago, and families in their homes, loved ones that actually cared for them. And they are no longer here to say, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a TV host, I want to be a prime minister. They are no longer here to say that. They no longer have a voice. But we as Trinidadians and Tobagonians have to be the voices of these innocent babies, because I call them babies, because they're still babies in my eyes. And it is very painful and very hurtful to know that they cannot speak for themselves. But we as Trinidad and Tobago have to take up that mantle to speak for them. And my question to you, Trinidad and Tobago, when will it end? When are we going to put a stop to it? When are we going to stand firm? When are we going to stand our ground as a nation of Trinidad and Tobago? For the voices that cannot speak because they are all 6 feet under, or their bodies are never found. When are we going to speak for them? And I want this to ponder in the minds of young and the old. That if we don't stand up as a nation, as a society, as a community, as a neighborhood, we are going to fall short for these innocent voices that did not even get a chance to have a voice. And I am telling you, and I'm pleading again to the nation of Trinidad and Tobago and Real TV family, this is a spiritual warfare. We don't know who sent it, and I don't care to know who sent it, but we have to send it back to sender. And we have to rebuke it. Whatever spiritual realm is roaming through the lands of Trinidad and Tobago, we have to rebuke it and send it back to sender. Whoever wants to run the ricochet, the jenge, the juju, we have to send it back to the sender. For whatever reason, they want the innocent souls of Trinidad and Tobago, they have to take it back. And when they get it back, woe be unto your soul. Because the only thing you have to do when it comes back to you, you will have to beg for forgiveness and cry out unto the Abba Father, the Creator, whoever it may be, whoever controls the universe. You will have to cry out and answer. And as statistic goes, they say there's no single official public list of all children who have died through domestic violence or shootings in Trinidad and Tobago during 2026, but these cases are among the most widely reported so far this year. So you don't know who might be in a shallow grave, child missing, and the family and want to say nothing. We don't know unless it is reported. But I want us to take heed, and I want us to take this as a serious situation. That Trinidad is bleeding. Tobago is bleeding. We are bleeding as a twin island of Trinidad and Tobago. This is the worst in my 30-something years of living I have seen thus far. And I only pray and hope that we are going to see betterment. We are going to see some sort of productivity in terms of in the judicial system, in terms of our policing, in terms of our social community communications, in terms of us speaking out as a nation. Because I am telling you today, Trinidad and Tobago, we are bleeding. And I want, before I end, I want production to play my song, Change the Change, if you can get that for me. And I want to end off the show with Change the Change. Because the change starts with us as a society, as a country, as a nation. Because we cannot be leading a flock, or we claim to say that we lead a flock in the Caribbean. And right now the Caribbean laughing at we. Shame on Trinidad and Tobago. And I'm telling all you, real hurt. I feel disrespected as a person in Trinidad and Tobago. I'm disappointed in us in Trinidad and Tobago. I'm not putting words in my mouth to say anything because I'm not sugarcoating nothing for us. We have to face reality. Can we get change to change? Thank you for bridging the gap. Tomorrow is another topic. And you know we have to talk more about societal and current affairs. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, please, the Lord. Be blessed. Stay on the straight and narrow. Be careful on the black carpet. And be careful in your commute. Be safe. Love is love. God is life.